Part 5. The Dying Map. The map of Sudan was once a wide, sunburnt canvas. Rivers winding like blue silk, deserts stretching like ancient scars, towns buzzing with laughter, music, and the ordinary dreams of ordinary people. But now, that map is dying. Not suddenly, not loudly, but slowly, painfully, piece by piece. Each region that falls does not disappear with an explosion. It disappears with silence. A silence that comes after the screams fade, after the houses turn to dust, after every living thing has fled. The borders remain drawn on paper, but on the ground, they mean nothing. Across Sudan, invisible hands are redrawing the land with weapons, fires, and forced hunger. And each shift, each burned village, each captured road, each seized water point becomes another wound etched onto the nation's geography. This is the chapter where we watch a country tear apart in slow motion. Across the western regions, there were once cities that glowed with life after sunset. Geneina, Nyala, Zalingei. People remember them with the same tone you'd use to recall someone you loved who has passed away. Markets where merchants shouted over the scent of spices. Courtyards where families brewed coffee over tin stoves. Streets where children played football barefoot. Now those same cities lie in half ruins, like broken bones. Shops looted, walls blackened by flame, roads littered with shells and twisted metal. And the people, those who once lived there, have vanished into the camps, or into the desert, or into graves no one marked. What remains are ghost cities, where silence rules the streets, and the wind carries the ashes of stories no one will finish. The fighting is no longer between two armies. Now the land is carved up by dozens of militias, each carrying its own flag, each following its own loyalties, each hunting for control over the scraps of a dying country. Some fight for territory, some fight for revenge, some fight because war has become the only life they've ever known. And some fight because someone promised them power, food, or the right to plunder whatever remains. Sudan has become a patchwork of shadows, zones where no government exists, no law survives, and no human life is safe. The warlords rule with fear and rumor. They spread messages like wildfire: leave by sunrise or burn. Give your sons or lose your daughters. Hand over your land or lose your life. In this world, a single radio message can empty a town overnight. As cities fall, the camps grow. What began as temporary shelters, plastic sheets tied to sticks, have slowly turned into cities of their own. Sprawling labyrinths of misery, endless seas of makeshift tents, miles of dust, coughs, and hunger. Children born inside the camps learn the rhythm of survival before they learn to write. They know which trucks bring food. They know which colors of smoke promise danger. They know that silence can be a warning just as much as shouting. The camps used to be places people passed through. Now they're places people die in. And yet, even among the suffering, there are sparks of unbelievable humanity. Women who gather everyone's children at night and tell stories so they can sleep. Men who walk miles to bring back a single jerry can of water. Doctors who improvise clinics from tarps and rusted tables. A teenager who gives half his rations to an old man who has none. In a land stripped of hope, hope survives only because the people refuse to let it die. There is a new enemy in Sudan, one that fires no bullets, wears no uniform, and follows every fleeing family through the desert. Hunger. Entire regions are being starved intentionally, roads cut off, farms destroyed, aid stolen or blocked, wells contaminated or taken over by militias. Children's arms grow thin as reeds. Vases lose their glow. Bellies swell with the cruel illusion of fullness. Mothers stop eating so their children might live one extra day. Men wander for hours searching for grains dropped from aid trucks. Some families boil leaves just to taste something warm. This is not famine by accident. This is famine by design. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is not the burned buildings or the lost cities, but the death of ordinary life. The life where children woke with school bells, where fathers opened small shops with dusty counters, where mothers hummed as they prepared dinner, where neighbors greeted each other on the street. That world is gone. People don't talk about the future anymore. They talk only about survival. Tonight, tomorrow, maybe the next day. Dreams have become luxuries. Birthdays are forgotten. Weddings are delays in running from danger. And funerals, if they happen at all, are hurried and fearful, done before the next gunshot. Sudan is no longer a place where people live. It is a place where people endure.
The broken map. Look at Sudan on a map today, and it might seem intact. But what you see on screens is a lie, a printed memory. The real map, the living map, has been shredded. Border towns controlled by armed gangs. Villages wiped clean off the earth. Roads too dangerous to travel. Water points seized. Families scattered across 5 countries. Sudan no longer exists as a single nation. It exists as fragments. A land bleeding through invisible cracks. And as the world scrolls through headlines, the map continues to darken, inch by inch, until the nation becomes a shadow of what it once was. This is part 5, the part where a country dissolves in real time, where the world should be watching but isn't. The question now is simple. If the map of Sudan truly dies, who will care enough to draw it again?